And I'm extremely excited to announce a brand new series of live sessions on our channel that we're calling Feedback Fridays. So why we started this, you may ask? So we've had a lot of members of our community reaching out to us on different channels with videos of them singing, videos or audios, and then they're asking us for feedback. So we thought, why not make it a bit more organized and create a series out of it so all of our students and members of the community benefit from it. So this is the first episode and I'm extremely excited. We've already received well over 100 submissions of videos of you guys singing. So thank you so much for that. Now, if you haven't known this before and you'd like to send in a video of you singing as well, here are a few guidelines to follow. So the first thing is you can go to the link in the description below and submit your video. We have a form there. You can enter all the details and send a link to the video of you singing. And the next point to note is let the video be at least 1 minute long and it can be of a song in any language. I know we are a Western vocal channel, but we understand the demographic of our country and our audience in specific as well. So any language is perfectly fine. Just make sure it's not a live video like a live performance or a video with too much background noise, because that would be a bit hard for us to give feedback on. And the other thing is try not to rip off videos from Smule, StarMaker and all these other apps. And the last thing I would like to mention is that even only audios is fine, but we would prefer a video because I would also be able to give feedback on the physical aspects of you guys singing. Okay, so also let there not be any extra auto-tune or processing or layering on your vocal. Let it be a raw take. So now that that's cleared, we can dive right in to the first episode. I'm really excited. Let's kick things off. So today I think we're going to be looking at about 5 or 6 videos depending on the time. Each live is going to be half an hour long. So let me see the first one. So, and I haven't watched any of these videos before, so that I can give an unbiased first reaction to all of these. Okay, so the first one is Anjali from Mohali, Chandigarh. So let's take a listen then.
नहीं नहीं है ये बातें वही, फिर इस मोड़ पर हम मिले हैं, न जाने अब मिलेंगे हम कभी, तो रुक जाए।
Really nice texture to the voice.
ये नर्म चादरों की सिलवटें तुझे अभी बुला रही है, न जाऊं दूर इनसे ये कह सकूं कहाँ पे है हंसी दिल को मेरे, ये है पता कि मेरा
Really liking this.
फांसिया है, अलग आसमां भी है तो क्या ये दिल ना माने, ये गाड़ियों की ऐसी दौड़ सा तेरा भी दिल दौड़ता है, जा रहे हो दूर तुम तो क्या नहीं, तो दिल का मुसाफिर एक बार फिर तो हंस के जरा देख ले, मेरी आंखों में कैद कर लूं हर वो पल तेरा तेरी.
Okay, so that was Anjali from Mohali. So Anjali, thank you so much for the submission, and I really enjoyed the texture of your voice. And as expected, the first one was a Hindi song, and I think we're going to listen to a lot of Hindi and other regional language songs in your submissions. No worries, I'm very excited for that. So the feedback that I can give you, Anjali, is that firstly, I love the texture of your voice. It has a very singer-songwriter vibe to it. I don't know this song personally, but I think it's a singer-songwriter song, right? If I'm not wrong, probably someone like a Pratik Kuhad or Anuv Jain or someone like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the next thing I would like to tell you is that your voice fits this genre perfectly. And so like I really enjoyed this one. But now coming back to points where you can improve on. So firstly, I think maybe just to challenge yourself, because this is a pretty one-dimensional song, right? So you can probably take songs which have a bit more projection, as we call it. So this is a song where you can sing with a lighter texture and a lighter voice and that airy sort of a laid-back sound. But why not try singing something a bit more powerful, maybe a bit more resonance with that facial resonance, as we call it. Maybe something like any song by Neha Kakkar or something like that, because her tone is really, really bright. It cuts through the mix, right? So that's one suggestion I can give you. And the second point is, even though your pitching was pretty much on point for most of the song, in the end, the final 20-25 seconds, I observed that there was a bit of pitching issue. That is, you were falling a bit flat in specific notes. So the best way to do this is to refer to our beginners Western vocals course. I have taught a few pitching exercises and also have recommended a few apps for you guys. So I think pitching issues may be a common issue with a lot of people. So let me make it clear, if you are having pitching issues, if you have an instrument at home, play a few notes on the instrument and try to match the pitch. If you don't have an instrument, you can use an app such as Perfect Piano, which is a free app, and you can use that and play specific notes and you can try to match accordingly. And if you're off key, you can probably pitch yourself higher or lower. Say for example, you need to hit a note and you're falling flat. See, I pitched myself or tuned myself up. And again, if you're hitting it high, you can tune yourself lower with reference to the app or the instrument. And if you're still having issues, I would also recommend downloading another app called Tuner Pitched, TUNER PITCHED. That is one app which I use as well. So you can use the Perfect Piano or your instrument, and then you can use Tuner Pitched along with it, where you're playing a particular note, and then when you sing it, you can use the Tuner Pitched app. It exactly tells you which note you're hitting. If you're hitting the correct note and pitching to the correct frequency, it'll show you the note. So your aim should be to match the note shown on the pitched app to the note that is being played on the Perfect Piano or your instrument, right? So those are the only 2 pointers that I would like to give you. Otherwise, I really enjoyed it. So that was a great start to Feedback Fridays. Now let's move on to the next one. So the next one, we have Sanjana from Faridabad, Haryana. Let's take a listen to this.
Never put my love out on the line. Never said yes to the right guy.
It's an English song.
Never had trouble getting what I want. But when it comes to you, never good enough. When I don't care, I can play like a Kindle. One wash my hair, but make it bounce like a basketball.
Very rhythmic
But
song
you
as well.
make me wanna act like a girl. Paint my nails and wear perfume for you. Make me so nervous that I just can't hold your hands. You make me glow, but I cover up for let it show. So I'm putting my defenses up, 'cause I don't wanna fall in love. If I ever did that, think I'd have a heart attack. I think I'd have a heart attack.
Wow, that just got better as the video went on. And thank you so much, Sanjana, for this submission. I really enjoyed this. So firstly, I would like to tell you that your voice has a lot of potential, especially in the second half of this video. I could clearly hear that. It was really nice. So the texture of your voice is fine. It's a little bright, and also the way you're hitting those higher, as we call it, falsetto or head voice notes, that's really nice. Your control in that range is really good. And a couple of pointers where you can improve on is, firstly, when you started the song, you were a bit pitchy. That is, your notes were a bit flat. You weren't hitting the right notes. So that is one thing that I can definitely recommend you to practice pitching. Like I mentioned for the previous submission, that you can use the Tuner Pitched app and a Perfect Piano app or an instrument and try to tune yourself to specific notes. So that will definitely help you improve your pitching. The second thing is that because the first half of the song was very rhythmic and very choppy, it felt like you were running out of breath. Right? So when that happens, it means your breath control can be improved. So the best exercise for breath control, let me quickly show it to you, is to take a deep breath only through your nose. So inhale through your nose and make sure your stomach expands as you're inhaling. So take a deep breath, make sure your stomach expands, and then slowly you can exhale it out by closing your teeth and creating a hissing sort of a sound. Right? So you can time yourself while you're doing this. As soon as you start exhaling through your teeth, start timing yourself, and then you will be able to see how many seconds you last. Maybe initially it'll just be for about 8 to 10 seconds, but eventually as you do this more, you can get to a point where you're hitting 30, 40 seconds or even more. So this will help you take your breath, and your breath control will improve. And the other thing is, make sure you take the breath at the right spots. So in every line, even if it has many words or syllables, there will be some part of the line where you can just take a quick short breath. So pay attention to that. And yeah, the pitching issue, the breathing, and as I said, the second half was much better. Your pitching got better when you went to the higher part of your voice. So I think you can work a bit more on your chest voice or your lower part of your voice. And that's pretty much it. The last suggestion I can give you is probably try not to use earphones and listening to the song while you're singing it, if you are doing that, because in the video I see you have earphones on. If you're not listening to it, it's perfectly fine. If you're listening to the song when you're trying to record it, a couple of things happen. Firstly, the key of the original track might not fit the scale that your voice is comfortable in, right? So if you're an amateur or a semi-professional singer, you might not have still discovered your correct range or where exactly your voice sounds best. We call that the tessitura of your voice. Say, to figure out your tessitura, the best thing for all you singers out there to do is just take a breath and start singing your favorite song. Say, for example, I'm waiting for the perfect time to call you back. So that was a song that just popped up in my head, and I just sang it without thinking too much, right? And I naturally went to my tessitura, which is the range or the part of my voice where it sounds bright, resonant, and it sounds really, really nice. I sound comfortable there. So when you're singing along with the original track playing on your ears, what happens is you will try to match the key of that singer, and you might not be able to because you may want to sing lower or higher, and you will struggle a bit to find the comfortable range. That is one. And secondly, the song will be moving in a particular speed, that is we call the tempo or the BPM. So if the song is faster, like this one in the beginning, you might miss the beat as well. And so it's a better idea to pick it at a lower BPM, at a lower speed without listening, and just sing it so that you can take breaths at the right point as well and you don't go off beat, right? That is all I have to say to you, but I really enjoyed this one as well. So guys, that was our first English song. So on the Western Vocal channel, that's great. So now let's listen to one more. I think this is, so now we have a male singer. This is Sandeep from Meerut, UP. So let's take a listen to Sandeep here.
अजब है इश्क यारा
Really bright voice, really resonant.
पल दो पल की खुशियाँ गम के खजाने मिलते हैं फिर मिलती है तन्हाइयाँ कभी आंसू कभी आहें कभी सिकवे कभी नाले तेरा चेहरा नजर आए
Nice sustain and
तेरा
control.
चेहरा नजर आए मुझे दिन के उजालों में तेरी यादें तड़पाए
Let's move a
तेरी
bit
याद
forward.
आजादी प्यार की ऐसा क्या गुनाह किया तो लुट गए हाँ लुट गए हो लुट गए हम तेरी मोहब्बत में.
Okay, so Sandeep, thank you so much for sending it. I loved listening to that. This was our first male singer, guys, and the voice has a very rich, bright quality to it. It's very resonant, so that is something I really enjoy, especially in male voices. Okay, Sandeep, so first of all, as I mentioned, you have a great voice and you have a lot of potential to sing much better as well. So, coming to the feedback part, firstly, as I told you, like you have a great rich texture and you have good control and vibrato as we call it is that shaky sort of a sound when you sustain a note, that vibrating shaky sort of a sound. So good sustain, good control of your voice, but then again, even though the control is there with respect to the breath and sustaining the note, there are some pitching issues. So as I mentioned to the previous two singers as well, pitching is probably the most important thing along with timing that a singer needs to focus on. Range, breath control, everything else comes later, but pitching and staying on beat or on time in the song, these are the two things which will make you stand apart as someone who's on his way or on her way to becoming a professional singer compared to someone who's an amateur. So you're falling a bit flat on these specific notes, especially in the first half. So I would say again, listen to the original song a few times and try to emulate it, try to copy it, and try to hit the correct notes. The second half got better, where the melody went na 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 na. So that part it was much better, but then again when the na 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 and you came down na 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 na, I think that is where the original pitch is, and you went a bit flatter. Na 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 na. You went somewhere there, if I'm not wrong. So there the pitching issues are there which you need to work on. And the other thing, as I mentioned, is timing. So a great app for you guys to use, I think most of you would have heard of this. It is called a metronome, metronome. A metronome, or as other musicians call it, it's a click track, which basically gives you 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it gives you these clicks which you can sing along with. So a great exercise to do is Google or try to understand the BPM of a song. You can even tap on these apps to figure out what BPM a particular song you're listening to is. Then try to play a click track at that BPM, and without any song reference, try to hit the correct notes but also stay on the beat. So this would be a great way to improve both your pitching as well as your timing or staying on the beat at the same time. Great, Sandeep. I loved listening to that. Now let's move forward. Now we have Basava from Raichur, Karnataka, which is my home state because I'm from Bangalore. So let's listen to Basava. If I'm not wrong, this might be a Kannada song. This may be the first regional song that we're listening to. So let's take a listen.
ಜೇನಿನ ಹೊಳೆಯೋ
Yes, it is a Kannada song.
ಹಾಲಿನ ಮಳೆಯೋ ಸುದೆಯೋ ಕನ್ನಡ ಸವಿ ನುಡಿಯೋ ವಾಣಿಯ ವೀಣೆಯ ಸ್ವರ ಮಾಧುರ್ಯವೋ ಸುಮಧುರ ಸುಂದರ ನುಡಿಯೋ ಆಹಾ ಜೇನಿನ ಹೊಳೆಯೋ ಹಾಲಿನ ಮಳೆಯೋ ಸುದೆಯೋ ಕನ್ನಡ ಸವಿ ನುಡಿಯೋ.
Very rich voice again.
ಕವಿ ನುಡಿ ಕೋಗಿಲೆ ಹಾಡಿದ ಹಾಗೆ ಸವಿ ನುಡಿ ತಣ್ಣನೆ ಗಾಳಿಯ ಹಾಗೆ ಒಲವಿನ ಮಾತುಗಳಾಡುತ್ತಲಿರಲು ಮಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಹೂಗಳು ಹರಳಿದ ಹಾಗೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ನುಡಿದರೆ ಸಕ್ಕರೆಯಂತೆ ಅಕ್ಕರೆ ನುಡಿಗಳು ಮುತ್ತುಗಳಂತೆ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ನೀತಿಯ ಮಾತುಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಸುಮಧುರ ಸುಂದರ ನುಡಿಯೋ ಆಹಾ ಜೇನಿನ ಹೊಳೆಯೋ ಹಾಲಿನ ಮಳೆಯೋ ಸುದೆಯೋ ಕನ್ನಡ ಸವಿ ನುಡಿಯೋ ಸುದೆಯೋ ಕನ್ನಡ ಸವಿ ನುಡಿಯೋ.
Right, Baswa, thank you so much for the entry. I really enjoyed listening to that. You have a very rich voice, I would say you're probably a baritone. With that lower voice, especially in the lower ranges, your voice sounds very rich, almost like a retro singer. That is really nice. And yeah, you have great control over your voice as well, so that is another great aspect. Now coming to the feedback part. So firstly, again, pitching issues. There were quite a few pitching issues in the beginning. In the middle, it became all right, and then by the end, again, there were quite a few pitching issues. So do what I've told the previous singers. Make sure you use an instrument or an app and try to pitch yourself with that. That is one thing. And the second thing is, when the faster part came, you were running out a bit of breath, right? So for that aspect, I would definitely recommend you to do the breathing exercise that I mentioned before. Take a deep breath and slowly hiss it out with your teeth closed, right? So that will help you slowly improve how to use your breath efficiently while singing any song. So that is one thing. And anything else? Yeah, again, the timing was a bit off, of course, because I can see in the video that you're just singing it a cappella. You're not singing it with any backing tracks or any song playing in your earphones. So that is good. It's a healthy technique, but then again, you need to stay on the beat. So in the slower parts, it was fine. When it went faster, it was a bit wobbly, and then later it became much better. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, the same pitching, breathing and timing issues for you, all three of them, but nothing to worry about. You have the potential, the sustain is there, the control is there, you have a very rich voice. And another thing I can tell you, Baswa, is to take up maybe a bit more challenging songs as well. This is very low in pitch, na 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 na. Even though it is a great way to develop your voice, I would say pick a song. Maybe since you're a Kannadiga, I can tell you ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಸಂಜಿತ್ ಹೆಗ್ಡೆ ಅಥವಾ ವಾಸುಕಿ ವೈಭವ್ ಅಥವಾ ರಘು ದೀಕ್ಷಿತ್, especially ರಘು ದೀಕ್ಷಿತ್ ತರ ಸಾಂಗ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ನೀವು. So that is my Kannada for today. So you can try those songs and see how your voice sounds in those ranges. Maybe you can help in improving your range. Your range may be on the bit of a lower side now, and maybe you can push your range by taking the singers' songs that I mentioned. And all of them are Kannada singers primarily. So hope that helps. Thank you so much for the entry. Now let me move forward to another of our entries. I think this is Pooja from New Delhi. So let's listen to Pooja now. Oh, I hear the backing track of Closer. It's an English song.
I was doing just fine before I met you. I bring you must as an issue, but I'm okay. Hey,
I love this song.
you tell your friends it's so nice to meet them, but I hope I never see them again. I know it breaks your heart. Moved to the city in a broke down car. Boy, it's no go now. They're looking for me in a hotel bar, and I can't stop. No, I can't stop. Oh baby, pull me closer in the backseat of your Rover that I know you can afford. By the tattoo on your shoulder, in the seats right off the corner of the mattress. Tell you stop from the room and back in Boulder. And never getting older.
Okay, Pooja, thank you so much for sending in that entry. I like listening to that, and you seem very young as well, so I see a lot of potential. So, and I like listening to another English song now on the Western channel. So, okay, so firstly, the main issue here is not your pitching, because I could see that this song is a slightly lower pitch song for both men and women, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue to sing this one. And your pitching was fine for most part of it, but in the beginning, the first hey was itself wrong, and I won't blame you for it, because it's, even though the melody and the range part of this song is very easy, the note choices are a bit what I would say uncommon, so you might face that issue. No worries with that. And again, when you went baby pull me closer you sang a different melody there. You started off with the wrong note. So the pitching is something really, really important. But before that, before I give you feedback, let me tell you that your voice quality is pretty nice. You have some decent control of your voice, and also your pitching is almost there. I think it's more of the starting note problem. So where you start, and once you start with the note, whether it's right or wrong, you're going fine with the melody. So I think you have a good sense of pitch, but where you start is what the problem is. So if you're starting right, it's fine, but if you're starting on the wrong note, then the whole section is sounding a bit wrong. So a couple of things I can tell you is, firstly, try to sing this a cappella without a backing track, because the other big issue that I heard was the rhythm issue, right? So firstly, let me tackle the pitching issue. Pitching, as I've mentioned before, just use an instrument or an app and try to match the pitch. Or in your case, especially, listen to the song like at least 5 to 10 times and try to, hey, it's not hey, it's, or hey, it's hey, I was doing just fine before I met you. So you need to hit the correct note in the beginning. So try to listen to the song and match it. Keep trying to match it so that it gets lodged in your head. So this is applicable for any song. So that's the best advice I can give you for pitching. Now coming to the rhythm, I think that is your bigger issue. So you need to start analyzing the song. So this is for all you singers out there. As I mentioned, singing on time is very important. So you need to listen to where the vocal is landing with respect to the beat, right? So initially it is, hey, I was doing just fine before I met you. Drink too much and that's an issue. So you need to see which words are landing on one. So if I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey is on 1. I was doing just fine before. So fine is landing on 1. So like that. So you need to analyze. You can tap to the song and see which part is landing where. And another advice I can give you is to memorize the lyrics. So I think you're referring and reading to the lyrics while you're singing. So singing on pitch and listening to the beat and trying to stay on time, as well as seeing the words all together, will be a lot of effort. So I would say try to reduce that effort by memorizing the lyrics, learn it by heart, and then you can start singing along. So yeah, for rhythm, especially in the second part, I know it breaks your heart. Moved to the city in a broke down car and 4 years no call. So see where the beat is landing. So if, for example, after the verse, na 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 1, na 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 na. So it's starting after the 2 beat. 1, 2, na 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 na. Right? And so I can't stop. No, I can't stop. Right, so the I have to get done within the first, just before the 1 beat and then just after. So these are just a few examples. So please pay attention to where the vocals are landing at which beat of the song. The best way to do it is don't sing it with the track, start tapping it, memorize the lyrics, and try to match the pitch. So as I told you, like, listen to the song so many times that you start on the right note and tap the beat on your fingers, on your hands, sorry, and you can start singing along from there. Okay, so there is a lot of potential. So hope you take the pointers in the right way. So guys, I think we've run out of time for today's episode. I had a lot of fun. Time just flew by. So I think we covered 5 singers today. So don't worry if your song wasn't covered. I'm doing this in the order that you guys have sent the videos to us. And if there are any issues with the videos you have sent, we will also mark it in the sheets where you're uploading it. We'll mark it in red and we'll probably send you a message and inform you that you need to redo it again. So that's pretty much it. I had loads of fun. I'm looking forward to doing this every Friday. So guys, that's it for today. Every Friday, I'll be here with the Feedback Friday live at 5 p.m. So mark the date and please keep sending your entries. You can find the form in the description below. So please send your entries. We would love to listen to you guys and we would love to give you this feedback and hope that it helps all of you. The last thing that I would like to say is please don't get discouraged all of this is constructive criticism for you guys, right? No one is trying to put you down here. We are all artists, so we're trying to help you guys improve. So the first thing as an artist is to be able to take constructive criticism and feedback in the right spirit and try to improve on it, right? So even if you're doing music for just 2 months or 5 years, you still have a lot to learn. And I've been doing this professionally, and every day I learn new things. I keep getting feedback from my seniors and my other people in the industry, and I take it in my stride and I try to improve in my craft and make sure I can be the best artist that I can, right? So I hope you guys do it the same way. I'm very, very excited to take this series forward. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, keep practicing, keep sending us your videos, and keep singing. I'll see you next Friday at 5 p.m. Bye-bye.